Good morning, happy Thursday. Let's get started. So, big hint, whenever you see a colored box, that means you're going to complete or do an activity or write a response. So, for the first thing, you're going to do language focus. So, the three words that we've been talking about this week, you are going to put them into the correct sentence. My friend came and picked me up in her old, dusty blank. Which of these three words fits into that sentence? You need to see things from my blank. Which of these three words fits into that sentence? The beaten up old couch was too blank for us to keep it. We needed a new one. Which one of these three words fits into that sentence? Once you see the word that you know is going to fit into that sentence, you're going to pick it up whenever you see. Shout out to Angelise for letting me know that she wasn't sure how to pick and drag the boxes up. You are going to see an arrow, or you're going to see four arrows. When you see those four arrows, that's when you can pick up the box and drag it. When you see something like this, you're not going to be able to drag it. Or this, you're going to try and drag it and it's going to go like this. Okay? So it needs to be the four arrows for you to pick it up and drag it. It also can't be this because that's just going to make it smaller this way. Well, it can't go any smaller. It'll make it bigger this way, right? Okay. So you pick it up when you see these four arrows and you drag it into whatever spot you think is correct. All right. So you're going to do that 3 times and then you're going to be done with this lesson or with this part of the lesson. So for today, I'm going to get right into the activity. You're going to be doing a Peels paragraph. So using the same text from yesterday and the day before, you're going to write a single Peels paragraph that answers the following question. So you're going to answer the following question, but first you're going to click on the link. It's going to take you to Common Lit. The class code ZEZ6Z3. At this point, you should already have a login, so you should be okay to just log in, but ZEZ6Z3 is the class code. So the question is, how does the speaker in Poppy's Jalopy feel about the jalopy? Explain using evidence from the text. Simple question, one that we've actually worked on yesterday, so something that shouldn't be completely unfamiliar to you. So before you begin, I'm going to have you answer a couple of questions. These questions will actually help you tremendously when it comes to answering the overall question in your Peels paragraph. So first, what point of view is this poem told in? First, second, or third? Answering that question is as easy as going like this and typing in the response. You don't have to type a sentence. It just needs to be first, second, third. That's all you need, okay? What important details does the reader get to understand when a text is written in first person? So what kind of things do you understand about a text written in first person that you might not understand when it's written in third person? So to give you a little bit of background, a third person perspective is when the speaker or the narrator is outside of the story. So they're telling a story that they were not personally involved in. First person is when they are, or the narrator speaker is telling a story about something they were personally involved in. So in hearing a story that a person was actually involved in, that they really did experience, what is the difference between that and hearing it from an outside source? Okay? What do you know about the way the speaker feels about his Poppy's Jalopy? So yesterday you answered a couple of questions, and one of those questions actually was centered around how the speaker feels about the jalopy. So this should be something that you've already done. Please feel free to go back to yesterday's work, review what you wrote yesterday, and you can answer these questions using the stuff you did yesterday. Next, Peels paragraph. How does the speaker in Poppy's Jalopy feel about the jalopy? Explain using evidence from the text. So you're going to click the same link here. Class code is also linked right here. And you're going to answer the question using this graphic organizer. Okay, so I also gave you sentence starters. So your point, technically, I don't want to say what the actual kind of paragraph that you're writing is, but you can get it. So point, answer the question. In the poem Poppy's Jalopy by Carolyn Pignette, the speaker, and then you are going to finish that sentence by answering this question. Okay? Look at what the question's asking and finish that sentence by answering what the question is asking. Okay? Evidence. What quote from the text tells you the answer? So here's your sentence starter. In the text it states, and in this spot right here, you are going to put your evidence. So if the poem says blah, blah, blah in it, this would be my evidence. Obviously that's not true and that's not what the poem actually says, but that was just an example. So you are going to take the evidence you find from the poem that proves what you set up here, and then you're going to put the author's last name, which we know is, and then the line number. So then you're going to put the last name of the author, lines 10 through, or 12 through 14. Okay? Let me see if I have. So if I were to be somebody who was looking at this and I was saying, I want to see where those lines came from. So this person just got these lines from the 12 through 14. So here's 10, 11. Oh, okay. So 12, 13, 14. These are the 3 lines that person just chose. So if you look at those lines carefully, you will understand that those lines probably won't be the best answer to the question. But again, was just a example. So return this to what it was. So that's what you're going to be doing. All right, the author's last name, which is going to be the same for everybody because it's the same author. The line number is what's going to change for people because maybe what one person thinks is the best evidence to prove their point, the other person thinks something different. And also at the same time, you guys are all going to be having different points. And then explanation. How does the evidence tell you the answer? This evidence supports my point, or supports, how could I do that? Remember, in a formal Peele's writing, there is no I, me, we, us, or you. We all make mistakes. I just made a mistake. That's okay. We fix it. This evidence supports the point because. So the point is what you're going to say here that answers the question. The evidence is what you're going to use to back up your answer to the question. And then your explanation is going to be you explaining how this relates to this. So if you are having a hard time explaining how your evidence relates to your point that you're making, your evidence is probably not strong enough. The point is something that you came up with because you read the text, you understand what the answer is. The answer that you come up with for this is something that came about because of the fact that something in the text told you that that's the answer. Finding what it is in the text that told you that is the difficult part. Okay, so try your best to find the best evidence and think about the fact that if I can't explain my evidence and how it proves my point, then my evidence probably is not strong enough, so I should get a different piece of evidence. Okay, this is probably the easiest thing to change. This is not the easiest thing to change, and this is not the easiest thing to change. Okay, so after you use that graphic organizer, I want you to type your paragraph. Usually I let you just hand in the paragraph in the graphic organizer. I want you to type your paragraph. So using all of the information that you included in here, you are going to type your paragraph. So if you think about it, oh, and also it should be at least 5 sentences. Everybody should be writing paragraphs that are 5 sentences. So you're going to type your paragraph. In the poem Poppy's Jalopy by Carolyn Pignette, the speaker blank. The same sentence starter that we have here. You are going to fill in the rest of that with what you wrote in your point. And if you can think about the way that this is probably going to go, the next thing that you might be writing might be in the text it states, and then what you wrote. And then the next thing that you're going to type might be, this evidence supports the point because. So if you do this exercise correctly and to the best of your ability, typing this paragraph should be copying and pasting. okay? And if at any point you feel like your sentences don't flow together or whatever the case may be, when you copy it and paste it here, this is where you can add those words to make it flow a little bit better. All right, that is it for today. Attendance is mandatory. Ask questions when you need to. Sign up for Google Meet today. That's it. All right, have a good day.